Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Today we are doing Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 41st verse. 41st verse. Verse number 41. And we have seen so far that actions may not produce result, but attitude guarantees result. An action cannot guarantee result. An action may bring results, it may not bring results, it may bring less than your expectation, it may bring more than your expectation, it may bring just what you expected, or it may bring something adverse to your expectation. But the attitude immediately guarantees the result, good or bad. Therefore, thoughts are more closer to you. They are closer to you than the actions. Your thinking guarantees sukham or dukkham right away. It guarantees. Your attitudes, your prayerful attitude immediately gives you mental peace. Your honesty gives you mental peace. It's an attitude. Truthfulness gives you immediate mental peace. Accommodation gives you immediate mental peace. And the wrong actions, the wrong thoughts give immediate pain. Yes. They may bring more money, but along with that, but that is not the thing. But the wrong thoughts give you pain inside. You find yourself suffering pain. That is the result of wrong thoughts. Right thoughts always guarantee you mental peace. And therefore, nehabhikramanashosti, the right attitudes can never be destroyed. They can never be destroyed without giving any result. They always guarantee result. Like when you perform an action, it may bring result or it may be a total loss. Like when you raise a crop, the whole crop may bring you the result, or the whole crop may be some flood may come and the whole thing may be a loss. That is called abhikramanasha. Attitudes always guarantee results. Yes. Attitudes guarantee. Your desire guarantees struggle. Anger guarantees pain. Jealousy guarantees pain. Guarantees, G. I'm not talking about anything else. May or may not. It guarantees. Like light guarantees the dispelling of darkness. Guarantees. In the same manner, right knowledge guarantees the correction of wrong knowledge. A deliberate right action, right thinking, the deliberate right attitude corrects an impulse. Self-control corrects impulse. It guarantees. When the impulse is corrected, your mind is peaceful. Therefore, attitude neha vikramanashosti pratyavaya. And it is not something, attitudes need not be, you don't have to follow desha, kala and avastha. In order to perform a ritual, you have to consult an astrologer, etc. What time is the best time, which place is the best place, which situation is the best situation, etc., etc. There is a Shubham and Ashubham headache about actions, but attitudes, you can always, when you love your children, you don't have to consult an astrologer. Your love can manifest at any time. And that is what is called pratyavaya. Pratyavayo na vidyate. It has no pratyavaya. It has no sin. If you don't have to follow any process. In a ritual, you have to follow a given, a mandated process. And it is mandated by the Veda itself. And that mandated process, if it is not followed, there is a sequence of there is a process with a sequence. And that process of sequence has to be followed meticulously. Then alone, it is considered to be a ritual. But for an attitude, there is no process, there is no sequence. Say you love, in that there is no sequence, and therefore there is no pratyavaya here. Pratyavaya means is a sin. It's not possible to get in an attitude any pratyavaya. In self-control, there is no pratyavaya. You don't have to follow it, you don't have to self-control yourself only in a given manner. It is not mandated by the Veda. Attitudes have no pratyavaya, and therefore bank on your attitude for your happiness, please. Your attitude, your intentions. Your intentions are good, then your mind is peaceful. Your attitudes guarantee your mental peace. And now we are going to see the next verse. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi yekeha kurunandana. He Kurunandana, he Arjuna. He Kurunandana means he Arjuna. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya does not mean deciding. You decide an action. You decide upon an action, whereas you determine the nature of a fact. There is a difference between deciding and determining. I hope you are able to understand this point. This is very important. Deciding is related to karma, action, what you do. Supposing you want to go to the village, you decide to go to the village. You decide to take a bath. You decide to sit down. You decide to stand up. You decide to walk. You decide to go for a walk. That is called a decision. That is all. That is connected to your actions. But determining, a scientist always determines the nature of a fact. Why is this? Everything that I throw, it comes back. Why? Maybe the earth has a gravitational pull. That is determining the nature. Everybody thinks the sun is going around the earth, but you determine the nature. No, it is not true. It is the earth that goes around the sun. The sun is stationary. What moves around it is the planets. In this manner, you determine the nature. The fire is hot. That is called determining the nature. Fire is, I am not doing any action. I am only finding out the nature. Finding out the nature of things is what is called determining. And doing action, deciding to do an action is what is called a decision. Decision making, deciding, karma. Deciding is different from determining. Here, Vyavasaya means determining, not deciding. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means your mental judgment, correct judgment. Vyavasaya means nishchaya. Nishchayatmika, antakarana vritti. Nishchayatmika means, Vyavasaya means nishchaya svabhavaha. Nishchaya svabhavaha, svabhava. Determining this. Fire is hot and nothing else. That is determining its nature. The body changes. One day it has to go. That is determining its nature. You may not make any much of an effort to determine it, but yet it is determining. It is a knowledge. It is determining its nature. The dream is determined as false after waking up. That is determining. As you wake up, you determine the nature of the dream. That is, it is false. Determining. And right determining. Determining, I am going to use another word for determining. Maybe you don't know. That is judgment. You can understand this judgment. Correct judgment. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means right judgment of a fact. Eka iha. Iha means on the path to happiness. Iha means in life. Because in life there is only everybody is searching for happiness. Everybody is searching for peace. Everybody is searching for existence. Everybody is searching for I want to be and be happy and be aware of that fact. That's all that man can ask for. He can't ask for anything more. I want to be and be happy and be aware of that fact. That means I want to be means existence. I want to be existent. And I want to be happy. And I want to be aware. And I want to know that fact. That means that is what is called, that is what everybody is looking for. The right judgment of a fact is only one. Iha means in this search for happiness, there is only one thing, one judgment, that is correct judgment. The wrong judgments are plenty. And the wrong judgment I'm going to include all beliefs are many. Speculations are many. Errors are many. That it is rope is only one thought. That it is rope is a fact. That it is eka. But you can misconceptions can be any number. I can misconceive it as a snake, or I can misconceive it as a garland, or I can misconceive it as a water line, or a bhuchidram. Like this, misconceptions can be many. The wrongs can be many. The right is only one. To be very brief, please. The wrongs are many. I'm including in the wrongs, even wrong beliefs are many. Beliefs are countless. Speculations are countless. Imaginations are countless. But the fact is one. The truth is one. Vyavasayatmika, Bhagavan is one. But then people imagine that Bhagavan in so many ways. Those imaginations are many. They're all deliberate imaginations, are many. Misconceptions are many. Beliefs are many. Prayers are many, but the fact is one. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eka is one alone. The right judgment is one alone. Iha, in the search for fullness. There is only one. In this Shreya Marga. Iha means here in this Shreya Marga. Shreya Marga means in the search for fullness. In the search for peace, there is only one truth to be understood. Eka iha kurunandana. Hey Arjuna, there is only one right judgment when it comes to searching for fullness. Bahushakha, and many branches. Bahushakha, anantascha, and they are countless. Buddhayaha, countless are the speculations. Avyavasayinam, those who are not, they don't think correctly. Avyavasayinam means they don't think correctly. They are not really, they don't give importance to thinking. Thinking is very important. Thinking, as I told you, it guarantees either happiness or unhappiness. Right thinking guarantees right there happiness. Wrong thinking guarantees unhappiness right there. You may be physically comfortable, mentally unhappiness. If it doesn't give unhappiness right there, in fact, it is meant to give it. The wrong thinking immediately guarantees either happiness or unhappiness. And if you believe that it doesn't, then all right, one day you will find yourself suffering. If it is the wrong thinking. If it is the right thinking, you find yourself enjoying the pleasures. Sometimes happiness and unhappiness descend on our head, Ji. Yes, as the result of my own previous actions. There is a causation in life. As I do, so I reap. That is called causation. All actions have their results. And the actions are first and the results are later. I can't get the results of my future actions. I don't know what are the future actions. I can only get the results of my past actions. Past in this life or past in my previous lives. I don't know. But definitely the results come for the past actions. We don't get the results for the future actions because we don't know what are the future actions going to be. And therefore, anyway, right judgment is one, wrong judgments are countless. Countless are the wrong judgments. This is a very important point. You have to understand this. Right judgment is only one. That the fire is hot is right judgment. And wrong judgments you can have, imagine so many things. Oh, it only looks red, but it is cold, etc., etc. You can imagine so many things. The wrongs are countless. The right is one. I can imagine myself as I can put on labels are countless, but the fact is one. I am one. The labels are countless, G. I can call myself, I can assume the label of this form. I can assume the label of a caste. I can assume the label of a creed. I can assume the label of a surname. I can assume the label of nationality. I can assume the label of a gender also. I can assume the label of what I possess as a rich man or poor man, etc. The labels are countless, but the me is one, the fact is one. What assumes the labels is the fact. I am not a bundle of labels, please. I am a conscious being. I assume the labels, including this form. This form also is a kind of a label. And when you become a Rotary Club president, that is also a kind of a label. When you become a Lions Club president, that is also a kind of a label. When you get married, when you call yourself a husband, that is a label. When you call yourself a father, that is also a label, please. These are all various labels. But that you are conscious is a fact. That you are a being is a fact. That you are there, you are a conscious being is a fact. And consciousness by nature is all comprehensive. It is not confined to this form. It cannot be confined to the labels. It is comprehensive of all the creation, of all the labels. It doesn't get confined to the labels. But to think that I am confined to the labels, that is called avidya. That is called adhyasa. A wrong thinking is called adhyasa, please. About what we think wrongly is what is called adhishthanam. Adhishthanam means what I think wrongly, that is adhishthanam. What I misjudge wrongly is adhishthanam. And that misjudgment is called adhyasa. That it is rope is adhishthanam. And I see it as a snake, that is called adhyasa, adhyasta. That if I look upon it as a snake, then it is adhyasta. And that I see it so, that is called adhyasa. Life is adhyasa, please. Life is adhyasa. And the whole universe is adhyasa, adhyasta in the truth. It is only perceived in the truth. Therefore, you have to have the right judgment that your nature is that you are comprehensive of everything and yet unqualified by anything. You are not, there is no noun adjective relationship between you and what you are comprehensive of. Between the water and the wave, there is no noun adjective relationship. Noun adjective relationship means like, I will give you an example. An example like an yellow flower. Yellowness is the adjective of the flower. Flower is a noun. In this world, that is something funny. You have to be intelligent to understand this. You have to understand this. Because many properties make one noun. In Renan Martin grammar book, in Renan Martin grammar book, it is always said, a noun is that which is qualified by an adjective. An adjective is that which qualifies a noun. Now the question is, can there be a noun minus all the adjectives? No. Even though we think as the noun is something, between the noun and adjective, there is no. But this noun and adjective relationship thinking itself is wrong, Ji. Why? Because without the adjectives, there is no noun. Then we say the noun has all adjectives, as though the noun is something independent of the adjectives. Like the forest. Forest means many trees make forests. Many trees make forests. Minus all the parts, there is no whole. The forest is not there. It is not really an aggregate kind of noun, an aggregate kind of assemblage. A noun is that which is qualified by adjectives like color, physical, anything. A color is an adjective. Any physical feature is an adjective. But consciousness, this universe is only a perception. Consciousness is a fact. Between fact and the perception, there is no noun adjective relationship. There is a truth and error relationship. Truth and error relationship is different from noun and adjective relationship. This you have to follow this point very well, Ji. Noun and adjective relationship. Like if you have a building, it is a high-rise building. The height of it is its adjective. And its volume is its adjective. Its weight is an adjective. Its color is an adjective. And the building is the noun. But minus all the adjectives, there is no noun. Therefore, the noun and adjective, does the noun have all the adjectives? Or all the adjectives put together is called a noun? Is even till today, it is not decided. It is not determined. It is not judged correctly by the thinkers. But Vedanta says, between the truth and the universe, there is no noun and adjective relationship. The physical is not an adjective of. The physical is comprehended by the consciousness. It falls within the realm of consciousness, but it doesn't taint the consciousness. It doesn't qualify the consciousness. Qualify means it's not the characteristic of consciousness. Nothing physical is a characteristic. Like snakeness is not a characteristic of the rope. I may see it as a snake. I may judge it as snake, but my judgment is only a judgment. It is only perception. But it is not it's not a part of the rope. It doesn't qualify the rope. Similarly, consciousness being all comprehensive, it is comprehensive of the whole Jagat, but it is not something qualified by the Jagat. Similarly, labels, the consciousness cannot be confined to any label. Like the water is not confined to the wave, but the wave is confined to the water. This is what is to be judged correctly. That my individuality is always, it cannot exist outside consciousness. The world is confined to consciousness. Consciousness is not confined to any object. Every object is confined to consciousness. It's non-separate from consciousness. But consciousness is not confined to any object. Consciousness is kritsna. It is something that it is complete. It is comprehensive of everything, and therefore it is not qualified by anything. This is the statement which is actually the Vedanta ji. This is the statement that your presence, the stillness is comprehensive of all the movements, but it's not qualified by any movement. Like the space is comprehensive of everything that is moves in it. The air is moving in the space. The fire is moving in the space. Water moves in the space. The earth moves in the space. The space is comprehensive of all their movements because they don't fall outside the space. They fall within the space, but they don't taint the space. They don't qualify the space. In the same manner, all the five elements are perceived in consciousness, but they don't qualify consciousness. This is exactly what is called noun-adjective relationship. Between you and the what you see, there is no noun-adjective relationship. You are the truth, and everything else is a perception. Perception means it is only a view. It is only like a dream. It doesn't qualify you. The waking also doesn't qualify you. The objectified cannot qualify the unobjectifiable consciousness. The objectifiable objects do not qualify. They fall within the realm of the unobjectifiable consciousness, but they don't qualify that consciousness. Thus, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahusha hi anantascha buddhaya avyavasayinam. The right thinkers always think the nature of the thing. What is its nature? What is my nature? They become their own topic. And the determining one's own nature is what is called Vedanta. Determining, understanding one's own nature. The nature can never be otherwise. The nature can be mistaken otherwise. The nature can be misunderstood otherwise, but it cannot become otherwise. That is the nature. I may think that the body is going to be eternal. That is a misjudgment, but it cannot be eternal. By nature, it is non-eternal. It has to go. All the pleasures are non-eternal by nature. The Jagat is non-eternal by nature. Because in sleep I transcend. When I transcend, it is non-eternal. Thus, a thinking person always thinks of his nature. He thinks of his nature. The nature of the world is non-eternal. The nature of the seer is eternal. This is his thinking. And eternity is only one thing can be judged as eternal, can be understood, can be eternal, and that is one's own existence can be eternal. Nothing else can be eternal. Because whatever you objectify is non-eternal. And therefore, the right thinking people think of their own nature, make themselves the topic, whereas the wrong thinking people think of many other things. They live in their imaginations, they live in their speculations, they live in their beliefs, and they live in their fanaticisms. They live in their own world, but they don't think of their nature. They think they live in the memory of the objects, all right. They have desire for the objects, all right. They don't think of what their own nature. The self does not become the topic. Objects remain the topic. The self doesn't become the topic. And the Vedanta is nothing but the self as the topic. The consciousness as the topic. And everybody is by nature, whether he is an African or an Indian or a Chinese or an American, it doesn't matter. Whoever he is, whether he is a human being or an elephant or a cow or a reptile or a bird or an insect, it doesn't matter. It's a conscious of. And consciousness is eternal. An insect is an insect because it is the consciousness identifies with the insect form, that particular form. A bird is a bird because the consciousness identifies with that form. Man is a man because consciousness identifies with that man's form. It is the form, from the form point of view, we think of many. The forms are many, but the formless is one. You can't have variety of formless things. You can have variety of forms. You can't have variety of formlessness. It's wrong. You can have variety of finitudes, finites. You can't have variety of infinites. Infinite is something, the unlimited, the completes. You can't have many kinds of unhappiness, unhappy reasons. Reasons for many, the reasons for unhappiness have a variety, but happiness is your nature. Happiness has no reason, please. Happiness has no reason. It is your nature. Like if it changes, it doesn't have, when the body changes, it need not have any reason. It is its nature to change and to age and to die one day is its nature. I am asking you to think in terms of the distinction between the nature and the judgments. And therefore, misconceptions can be many, but the fact is one. Non-eternals are many, but the eternal is one. Material objects are many, but consciousness is one. But Swamiji, there are many jivas, you may say. Jivas are counted as many because from the form point of view. But when the form is transcended, you cannot discern between between serenity and serenity you can't discern. It's one and the same. They are not similar, please. They are the same. Between serenity and serenity you can't discern. You may say between America and India, there is a difference between two physical things. But serenity in India and serenity in America can't be distinguished. The serenity transcends the place, the serenity transcends time, the serenity transcends thought. That is consciousness only. The silence cannot be discerned from silence. There are not two kinds of silence. We don't have two kinds of silences. Silence is one, and that is consciousness, yourself, being. To be unlimited is consciousness. And therefore, between noun and between your being and the universe, there is no noun adjective relationship. Even though everything falls in your arena, everything falls in your being, but yet it doesn't qualify your being. And this we have seen, I think, this particular verse, 41st verse we have seen enough. Now we'll go to the 42nd verse. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashchitaha vedavadarataha partha nanyadastiti vadinaha. Here Bhagavan says, people think karmakanda alone is everything, but they think there is nothing else. Say karmakanda is great. Karmakanda has yam imam pushpitam vacham. This entire phrase means flowery speech. Flowery speech. Karmakanda is full of flowery speech. Very musical approach. Very colorful approach. Ritual is very colorful. And the mantras are very sweet. But they are all right, Ji. But they are not talking about the fact. Yes, they are colorful. They are sweet. They are musical. But that's not the truth. The sounds are musical, but silence is your being. Silence is not a sound. Karmakanda is colorful and flowery speech. Vacham pravadanti avipashchitaha. And people always say, avipashchitaha means the unthinking people always say, this is everything. This karmakanda is everything because it is colorful and it is musical, and therefore we follow all this. This alone is the truth, they think. Anything that can entertain you alone is the truth, they think. I say, what entertainment also is non-eternal. Entertainment also is non-eternal. Anything that is non-eternal is not the truth, Ji. The truth is the eternal. Your existence is your being, your consciousness. You can transcend the form, and after waking up, you can understand that I had transcended. When you transcend the thought, you can't carry the thought, Ji, please into it. You can't think that I have transcended the thought. When you transcend the thought, you can't entertain another thought. You can't think. You can't know. Know means thought. You can't think that I am free from the thought. It is wrong. It is a contradiction. Yes, you can't think that you are free from thinking. You can't think. You can be free from thinking. Please understand this point very well. You can be free from thinking, but you can't think that you are free from thinking. And you can only remember that you were free from thinking in the sleep. After waking up only you remember. You only know after in the realm of thinking only, in the waking state, you can call back that you were free from thinking. But when you are actually free from thinking, you can be free from thinking. You cannot entertain a thought. You can't think that you are free from thinking. That is a contradiction in terms. You can't be free from thinking. You can't think that you are free from thinking, but you can be free from thinking. And after waking up, you always say, I was free from thinking. You remember, you recall. Yes, because within the thinking only, you can understand the presence of thinking and absence of thinking. When there absence of thinking, you can, to be free from thinking is what is called absence of thinking. It is considered absence of thinking. It is being free from thinking. When you are free from thought and you remember the and also think that you are free from thought, that means you are not free from thought. Yes. If you have, and therefore karma kanda, they think it is everything. It is eternal. It is everything, they say. It is colorful and therefore it is everything. And it is musical, therefore it is everything. I say that is the truth. Karma kanda is the truth, they say. But karma kanda cannot be the truth. Karma kanda is, it talks about non-eternal things. It talks about, it only pleases the senses. Sensory pleasures it can, colorfulness pleases the senses. Music pleases the senses. But silence doesn't please the senses. Silence is my nature. Silence is not an object, please. It is not pleasing the senses to be. It is the silentness of the being, which of course you like it. The silentness of the being. The silentness of the being is not a sense object. The consciousness is not a sense object. And therefore, whereas colorfulness is a sense object, so musicality is also a sense object. It pleases the senses. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti abhipashyataha. The avipashyataha means the unthinking people. Pravadanti means they say. What do they say? That this karma kanda is colorful and musical and therefore it is everything. Non-Vedavada Rataha, and they indulge in the karma kanda. Vedavada Rataha. They not only indulge, they indulge in the argument that karma kanda is everything. Partha. Nanyadastiti vadina, and there is no other truth. Karma kanda is the only truth. Means objects are the only truth. The music is the only truth. The colorfulness is the only truth. The colorfulness of the prapancha is the only truth. The colorful life is the only truth. That is all right, Ji. Life can be colorful, but to conclude that it is the truth is wrong. You can enjoy life, but don't conclude that life is the truth. There is a truth which is the truth of life and truth of death. And the wave is not the source. Wave is a creation. In the same manner, life is a creation. Death is a creation. It is a perception. But consciousness is the truth. Vedavada rata partha nanirastiti vadinaha. They say there is nothing else. Karmakanda alone is everything. But actually speaking, Vedanta is there other than Karmakanda. Some people, some Arya Samaj is like that. There are some people who say that Vedanta is a part of Veda, Karmakanda. Vedanta is not a part, it is a Bhinna Prakaranam. It is a different topic, please. Vedanta is not a part of Karmakanda. Vedanta is a Pramanam that is something different from Karmakanda. What is Vedanta? Vedanta is talking about you, whereas Karmakanda doesn't talk about you. Karmakanda talks about the objects. Karmakanda talks about the actions. Karmakanda talks about the results. Karmakanda talks about heavens. Karmakanda talks about various realms, like dreams. He talks about the details of the creation. Karmakanda talks about the details of the creation and then how to achieve them. So it mandates actions, rituals. And rituals are non-eternal. Results are non-eternal. Our pleasures are non-eternal. And therefore no detail of the creation is eternal. Whereas the source of the creation is eternal. And the source is the very one who sees the creation. He is the source, please. He doesn't know it. He thinks he is confined to the form, but he is not confined to the form. He is comprehensive of every form. The whole creation is a form, and it's comprehensive of the entire form. It's not that it is comprehensive of one form, it is comprehensive of every form, every sound, every taste, every touch, every smell. Whatever mind can imagine, also it is comprehensive of. What mind finds oneself with, what you find yourself with, that is also comprehended by consciousness. And therefore, don't say that karmakanda is everything, actions are everything, results are everything, enjoyments are everything. But there is, in fact, more than what you do and what you enjoy. What you are is greater. What you are, being what you are, that is the truth, Ji. What you do is non-eternal. What you enjoy is non-eternal. What you suffer also is non-eternal. Everything is non-eternal. But what you are being is the truth. And one doesn't think about what one is being. He only thinks of his form. He thinks of his thoughts. He thinks of the objects. He thinks of his possessions. But that is all a part of karmakanda, part of creation. They are different from what you are being. You are being the truth. And therefore here, many people think karmakanda is everything and there is nothing other than karmakanda. But we say there is something called Vedanta. You see, there is creation, but there is also the seer of the creation. Creation is karmakanda, every detail being talked about by karmakanda. But the one who sees is the topic of Vedanta. You are the topic of Vedanta. Whereas the details of the objects, the non-eternals, the details of the non-eternals is karmakanda. But the eternal is one. It is you. And you cannot really, you don't have spatial points in yourself. You are an indivisible being. You are an indivisible presence. And therefore, it is wrong to say that there is no Vedanta, please. It is wrong to say that Vedanta is a part of Karmakanda. Vedanta is not a part of Karmakanda, Vedanta is you. Whereas Veda is talking about the objects which are colorful and musical. And people get it, they make arguments to prove that karma kanda is everything. That is not everything. Even if you achieve, even if you enjoy thousands of pleasures, ultimately they just come to an end. Even if you live 1,000 years, ultimately it has to come to millenniums. Many millennia you may live, but still it is non-eternal. Freedom from time is eternal. Like in Sushupti, you are free from time. That is eternity. That is your nature. Yes, freedom from time is eternity. And there are some questions. I think I will ask those. I will answer those questions. One question is noun-adjective relationship. I think I have explained this noun-adjective relationship in the class. Can you give me a real life example? A real life example is only that. Like everything is like movement. It is the fire moves, the air moves, that movement takes place in space, but it doesn't qualify. Noun adjective relationship like property. Adjective means a property, a characteristic. Your tallness is an adjective. The body is tall. The weight of the body is its adjective. The tallness of the body is an adjective. The color of the body is an adjective. They're all parts of, they're all properties of the body. These properties of a noun. But the minus all these properties, there is no noun also. Therefore, do all the adjectives make the noun? Or the noun has adjectives? This is yet to be decided. And therefore, I think you can understand this noun-adjective relationship. You can read a Renan Martin dictionary, and then you can understand what is noun-adjective relation. An yellow flower, yellowness is an adjective. Sky is blue, the blueness is. Sea is a perception. If it is a tree is green, that greenness is an adjective. Tree is the noun. It is called a noun-adjective relationship. In Sanskrit, it is called sansarga. So this kind of sansarga truth doesn't have. Truth is not a noun for which there are many adjectives. No. Truth is like in the deep sleep state. Nothing waking, nothing, no detail of the waking state, no detail of the dream state can be an adjective of your sleep. Sound cannot be an attribute of silence. Sound cannot be. Sound takes place in silence. It cannot replace silence. It takes place in silence, but it doesn't qualify silence. Similarly, the universe it doesn't replace you. It takes place in you, but it appears in you. It doesn't become a property of your being. This is all Vedanta about, Ji. And you can understand this slowly. Then Prasad Rao RS. Swamiji Pranams, I request for more clarity on deep sleep state. Deep sleep state it is never experienced as the third state. It is nothing but your nature. That it is third state is thought of only in the waking state. You only in the waking state you think the waking is number one, dream is number two, sleep is number three. It is a misconception. Thinking about the deep sleep state as a third state is a misconception entertained in the waking state. But inside the deep sleep state, it is not experienced as one of the three states. It is being minus the two. You are being minus the two. You are being free from the thought. The waking state is a thought. Dream state is a thought. You are free from thought. And you can't entertain the thought there that you are free from the thought. You can be free from thought. You cannot think that you are free from thought. You can only think that you were free from thought, not that you are free from thought. This is a very important point, and you can think about it. And then the next is Adhishthanam. What are the meanings of these words? Adhisthana means the fact which you misconceive. What is rightly the right judgment? The fact is called adhishthanam. Adhyastha means the error, misconception about it is called adhyastha. Adhyaropa drishti means in relation to adhyastha, in relation to the form. That is called adhyaropa drishti. Adhishthanam means a fact. Adhyastha means an error. Adhyaropa means you impose something on something else. This adhyaropa drishti I will explain in the next class. Thank you. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.